Good day, everybody, and welcome to the program. It is Countywide. Brad Miller along with you, and our guest today is Alan Everett, and you talk about a fellow who wears a lot of hats. Alan, former mayor and council member in the city, with the city of Sedona, been involved in Habitat for Humanity. I can't list them all, Alan, but today he joins us in one of his current capacities as the director of the Arizona Department of Liquor, and we're going to talk about that agency and talk about Mr. Everett and what it is and what you do, and we say good day to you, sir.
Great, good day. Brad, good to be here. Thanks.
Good to have you. Good to have you come in and talk. And I'm always, excuse me, so impressed by the level of volunteerism that so many people who have worked a career and retire. I can't put the retirement word on you in any way, shape, or form with some of the things that you've been involved in.
Well, that's one great thing, isn't it, about the Verde Valley and the Sedona area? There are just so many people here that are interested in their community and get involved in things.
And whether that's on the local level and now for you on the state level,
yeah.
As, did I say it right, the director? Is that what we call you?
That's correct.
The Arizona
yes.
Department of Liquor. How did this happen for you? How long have you had that title?
I've been the director now since last June, and it's a job that's appointed by the governor, and the governor's staff approached me. I had served on the state liquor board for 6 years, okay. and so I had some knowledge of the department and how things worked. And they approached me last summer and said, would you have an interest in working in the governor's administration? And I said, sure, it sounds interesting. And so they did appoint me last June.
With so many things in flux in Arizona as we talk education and balancing the budget and all of these issues that everybody's well aware of, for your department, is there a lot kind of happening, if you will, within the department now?
There has been in the past, and there still is, of course, because we do have a difficult budget situation in the state. And our department has lost about 35% of the personnel in the department. Okay. We've reduced it that much.
Right.
But now we're starting to see the value of having more investigators out on the street, and so the recommendation in the current budget is for us to add another 4 investigators. So okay. we're kind of a growth department now.
Gotcha. When we say investigators, to me that summons the word enforcement. If you could kind of nutshell, what is the department responsible for?
Well, the department has 2 responsibilities, and number 1 is licensing, and there are 12,000 liquor licenses in the state of Arizona.
Okay.
And we issue new licenses and special event license, and then all of those have to be renewed every year, and we do the renewals. And then the other side of the department is the investigations side. And anytime a person applies for a license, we do a background check.
Okay.
And make sure they qualify. And then our investigators work very closely with local law enforcement agencies in training, in learning what's happening out on the street, and get involved that way. But we want to make sure that people that have a liquor license follow the
right.
rules.
Right. Now, when you issue a liquor license, it's issued by the state but administered and or approved by the counties? Or am I off track?
It goes through a process, and the applicant files an application with the state. The state then sends it to the local governing body.
City,
it could be a county or,
gotcha.
or city or town.
Okay.
And then they give a recommendation, approval or disapproval.
Okay.
If they give an approval, and then the department does the background check and everything's okay, then as director I can issue the license.
Okay.
But if the local governing body recommends disapproval of a license, then it goes to the state liquor board for a hearing.
Huh, okay. They'll look at the facts as they may be, and then...
And the applicant gets to come plead his case in front of the state liquor board.
Okay.
Yeah.
You told me something just before the show that I'm going to ask you to share with our listeners that I had no idea of. Frankly, I thought the website for the department was pretty comprehensive. A lot of good information there. I think it seems to be kind of aimed at folks who are in the retail business who would be applying for licenses or involved in that. But a lot of good questions and answers there that we'll chat about. But there are certain licenses that the holder can sell them to someone else. What is that, and how does that work? That sounds strange.
There are 17 classifications of licensing, starting from a distillery and a winery, all the way up to a restaurant and special event licenses, which would be a one-time, one-day, or 1 week type license. But 3 of the 17 are personal property, which once once an individual owns that license, it's his, just like real estate. He can sell it, he can move it, transfer it.
Pass it on to his heirs?
Pass it on to his heirs. It has value, and it has continuing value.
Okay. But you're going to have to, if I want to, Brad here, who's of upstanding character, wants to sell it to Paul David, who we know to be a very nefarious character.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Obviously, there'll be a background check on him. I can sell it per your regulations.
He still has to qualify.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right. And so first off, the local governing body would take a look at it and see if they have any issues.
Okay.
And then it would go to the department. The department would do a complete background check with fingerprints and so forth. If you've had a felony in the last, I think, 5 years, you don't qualify for a liquor license. So there are various requirements to own a license.
Does that situation stand in any way to kind of hold off competition, say? I mean, is that a possibility?
Well,
in other words, if two restaurants are side by side, I'm retiring, I'm going to close mine, and I favor one guy over another, I can sell the license to this guy, it may impact the other guy. Well, is that too complicated? Am I too Godfather all of a sudden?
No, it doesn't work quite that way, because a restaurant license is fairly easy to obtain.
Okay, yeah.
And there's no limit on those. But in the early on, when Arizona was incorporated or became a state, they decided there should only be so many packaged liquor stores and so many bars.
Okay, it's packaged liquor too.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting that. Okay.
So, and so they have a value, and like a packaged liquor license in Yavapai County right now has a rough evaluation of $150,000.
It becomes valuable with time.
So if you wanted to open a package store, you would have to buy a license from someone else.
Okay. So the number's finite. Kind of like they're going through this medical marijuana thing, and there'll be essentially X, if I understand it right, X number of licenses issued for dispensaries.
Yep.
The liquor that apparently is modeled off the standing liquor.
It is in some ways, yes.
I'll be darned. All right. Alan, let's go ahead and take just a little bit of a break here. You mentioned some wineries. There's a lot of vineyards in the last dozen years or so in the Verde Valley area. I want to talk a little bit about that. Alan Everett is our guest today, the director of the Arizona Department of Liquor. We'll break and be back to Countywide right after this.